Hi, today from New York. Today I will tell you some surprising facts about the dollar. Facts you may not know about. In one of the recent videos I promised you to tell you some things about money. Today I will tell you several interesting things about the dollar. So first of all, do you know where the name dollar comes from? It is a long story starting in Middle Ages. In Middle Ages there was no paper money. There were only coins. And coins were just made of precious metals. And the value of a coin was generally the value of the metal in that coin. But there was a problem with measuring the weight of the metal inside and of course of the pureness of the metal. So in order to solve that problem, some mints started to operate. What did they do? They just minted coins of certain weight or certain metal pureness. Most common were gold and silver coins, and the mint guaranteed with its reputation that in that coin there is this amount of metal and this pureness of this quality of metal. And it was a good business because actually the coins costed a little bit more than the metal inside because of the guarantee for the quality and weight. So people were able to pay, so to say, more for the coin to have this security, to have the value in that coin. And now one of the leading mints in Europe at that time was a mint in Johannisthal. Johannisthal in earlier Austria. And they minted a 1 ounce silver coin. In German, the coin was called Johannisthaler Münze. But of course, most of Europe didn't speak German, so they just used the name Johannisthaler. And that got also abbreviated to just Thaler. And with time, this description Thaler meant just generally a 1 ounce silver coin, independently of the mint where it was made. So it wasn't just the coin from Johannisthal, it was every coin of pure silver with the weight of 1 ounce. And in the English-speaking countries, they mispronounced it to dollar. Instead of thaler, they said dollar. And there were also dollars in the States. The coins were minted in the United States and they were called dollars. And it just meant 1 ounce silver coin. Right? And now the interesting part comes. Because in 18th century, it became fashionable to issue paper money and to force or move in some way the citizens to deposit their precious metals and get these banknotes, paper money, which symbolized the precious metal in the bank or in the treasury, right? So let's say there was also some patriotic reason, whatever, to call the citizens to deposit their precious metals into the state treasury and get these banknotes as the guarantee that there is this amount of metal in the treasury and they can get it anytime after the war or whatever. But in between, the state guarantees that these notes, this paper money, is a valid payment tender. And how did they guarantee it? They just forced everybody to accept that money as the equivalent to the coins, to the silver coins or gold coins which were in circulation. So $1 note meant there is 1 ounce of silver in the state treasury, which you could get for that money. And now I will surprise you, because I have $1 here. So this is $1, right? Or you think it is $1. This is a banknote with the value of $1. And I can buy some stuff here in the States for that, in some other countries also. Maybe not as much as, let's say, 100 years ago. Certainly not a coffee. Not here in New York anyway. Maybe some cheap ice cream or 1 scoop of ice cream, not even that. Some sweets probably. But what would you say if I told you this is not $1? This is not a real dollar. And what would you say if I told you real dollars were printed in 1957 for the last time? Why? On the real dollars, look here. Look here at the top of the face of the dollar. It says Federal Reserve Note. The real dollar had silver certificate printed in the same place. What did it mean? It meant you could bring that paper to the treasury and get 1 ounce of silver for that. But it became inconvenient because the dollar, the paper money, started to lose value. And there were some other political reasons or whatever. We won't talk about that right now. But in general, people started to come to treasury and demand that silver and to get the silver from the government, right? And they didn't want to give it away. They wanted to keep it and to use it in different ways, right? So what did they do? They just issued a law that made it impossible to get the silver out of treasury for that note. It became not convertible anymore. And they changed the silver certificate to Federal Reserve Note. And it meant you can use it as a payment tender. You can exchange value, services, and items for that money, but certainly not get anything from treasury for that. So this is not a real dollar anymore. This is just paper. You can devalue it endlessly, as far as you want. If you compare the value of dollar in the beginning of 20th century and now, it is like 110% of its initial value. This is what I wanted to tell you. First lesson about money. So if you want to learn more about money, about billionaires, their lives and their thinking, subscribe here. And here you will see one of my best videos. That's it. Thank you and see you from New York.